Hello Wargamers, I'm here with my first battle report. 1500 points, Dark Angels vs Dark Angels. Mission, Big Guns Never Tire. Deployment, Hammer and Anvil. First of all, let's make a look to the board. Normally, we pre-set up the board with the terrain. So in that case, we are going to consider everything as rings. The manufacturing tower will be also dangerous terrain. And in the case of the Fortress of Redemption, we only can go on top of the fortress, but we cannot go inside of the building. So also to mention that on the hills, the gray area of the hills will be considered area terrain 5 plus cover. Here you have some shots of my Dark Angels army. I call them the Vigilant Angels. So it will be led by a company master, and then I will also include two squads of 10 and tactical marines and one squad of 5 tactical marines. Samuel will also join the force, and then I will have 6 land speeders, 2 with the tornado configuration, so assault cannon and heavy bolter, 2 with melta, and 2 with typhoon missile launcher. I will also have 3 razorbacks as dedicated transport of the tactical units, each one equipped as you see in the pictures. So here you have some close-ups. These are the Typhoon missile launchers, land speeders. Here you can see the multi-melta land speeders, one with heavy flammer, the Tornado land speeders, and then a general view of the army. I have to apologize that I don't have pictures of my opponent army until deployment. Here you can see the list I'm going to use in that battle. And this is my opponent list. Let's start with the deployment. So my opponent deployed first and had the initiative. So he deployed as you can see in the picture. So in the right, he deployed the Devastators. Then in the middle of the battlefield, he deployed the Land Rider with 5 Terminators, the close combat Terminators inside, and the tactical squad of 10 men just next to the Land Rider. So then on the left flank, he deployed a Predator being proxied by this Razorback, and then he divided the other tactical unit into combat squads of 5. One was at the back with the missile launcher, and the other one next to the Predator. In reserve, he kept the other squad of 5 Terminators just for deep striking. To react to the deployment of my opponent, I deploy as you will see in the next images. So I almost deploy all my army in my left flank, facing the Land Rider and the Devastator squad. I also put all my army together to take the maximum profit of the power generator, so most of my vehicles have a 4 plus invulnerable save, and the other vehicles will benefit of the cover save from the front vehicles. The thinking here was to use the 4 plus invulnerable save to protect my army from the first turn of shooting, and then focus my fire on the Devastators, try to eliminate the long range shooting from my opponent, and deny one flank, so in the way that part of his army cannot be efficient against me. I also deploy a couple of units on the other flank just to grab the objective there. Here you have some subjective shots of the battlefield, like the view of a space marine on the battlefield. Let's go with turn 1. So in the movement phase, my opponent deep strike the squad of Terminators just on my weak flank, facing the 2 tactical combat squads I deployed there. Here a close-up of the Terminators squad. On the other flank, he moved forward the Land Rider, as well as the 10 tactical marines. In the shooting phase, he was not very effective, so he only managed to kill 1 tactical marine from my combat squads facing the Terminators and remove 1 hull point from one of my land speeders. Now we go to my turn 1. As you see, the first I did is spread out my vehicles. I moved the Tornado's land speeders to face the Terminators. The tactical squad on the other flank just keep stationary to focus their shooting on the Terminators that arrive from deep strike. This is a subjective view of one of my tactical squads. Also, you will see at the end of the picture the Predator, and here another close-up showing the threat of the Terminators. And this is the result after my fire. All the Terminators get killed just by the shooting of one of my combat squads. The combination of the bolters and the plasma cannon killed them all. Another lucky shot was my Razorback taking out 1 hull point from this Land Rider and stunning it. Here you see the view from the tower of one of my missile launchers, but he missed in shooting to the Predator. In the shooting phase, I also killed 2 or 3 Marines from the Devastators squad. But I think one of the mistakes I did in this phase, I moved the Tornado land speeders to give more firepower against the Terminators. But once the Terminators were killed, I forgot to move them flat out to improve their cover safe. Let's move into turn 2. So the Predator moved forward, tried to put more pressure on that flank, while in the other flank, the Devastators and the Land Rider keep stationary. In the middle, the tactical squads start jumping on the building, try to go for the objective in the middle of the battlefield. In the shooting phase, they just kill my land speeders Tornado. Then we go to my turn. In my turn, I move forward with the 2 Razorbacks on the front, keeping the squad with my company master close to them to make use of the power generator. The 2 land speeders with missile launchers Typhoon I keep on the back walls, but I keep hiding the 2 land speeders with multi-melta. Samael, with his speeder, goes to face the Predator. My shooting phase was horrendous, and I think I only managed to kill a couple of Space Marines from my opponent. So, turn 3. This time, my opponent moved forward with the Land Rider, disembarking the Terminators in sight. The Devastators keep stationary next to the objective. On the other flank, the Predator moved forward, facing Samael in the land speeder. The vanguard of my opponent, one of the combat squads, occupied the objective at the back. The shooting phase, my opponent did very little damage, and only take 2 hull points of one of my Razorbacks that can only do snapshots and move next turn. As you can see in that picture, in the turn before, I put the 2 land speeders with multi-melta at the backward of my army to be ready to shoot a short range to the Land Rider in the next turn. Here we can see how I keep my company master in the middle of the formation to give the 4+ invulnerable save to my vehicles and the squad. In the surface, the Terminators assault the squad where is my company master. He lost one of the Terminators with the snap shooting. In that picture we can see the status of the Devastator squad. I kill all the Marines with ball guns. So next shooting phase I would like to kill some of the Marines with the heavy weapons. He keep the Librarian in the formation to give the 4+ invulnerable save. In the close combat I lost 3 Marines and he lost one of the Terminators. Thanks to the power generator I don't lost all my squad. And now we go to my turn. So I move Samael to the flank of the Predator to see if I can kill the Predator shooting to the Armor 11 of the side. In this picture we can see that the squad that is protecting the objective in the manufacturer have a clean shot line to the Predator. In my movement I also move forward the 2 Razorbacks, disembarking one of the units that was inside of one of the Razorbacks. The idea is to concentrate shooting on the Devastators, try to disseminate them. From the backward of my army, the 2 Land Speeders with Multi-Melta move close to the Land Rider, but that I completely fail when trying to hit, throwing a double one. This squad also failed when trying to shoot to the Predator, don't manage to hit him. This is the situation at the end of turn 3 after my shooting. So I only managed to kill a couple of 3 Space Marines from my opponent. In the backward he's still protecting one of the objectives, while in the middle the thing is very stacked. So you see I didn't manage to kill the Land Rider that was my primary objective, and I only kill a couple of Devastators. Here you will see that there are 2 units fighting for this objective, the Devastators and my combat squad. And here we see the end of the close combat. So my company master is still alive with only 1 Marine of the squad. So at the end of turn 3, the battle is very open with opportunities for both sides. I would have to say that these Terminators in my lines can do a lot of damage killing my vehicles. And now we go to turn 4. I have to apologize, I don't have a lot of pictures of turn 4. I forgot to take pictures due to the excitement of the battle. So I will explain what happened more or less. So the Predator keep moving forward, trying to put more pressure on my squads. I think this has been a little bit a mistake because he was exposing the flanks of the tank at the same time. On the other side, the Land Rider fights the 2 Land Speeders with Multi-Melta, try to kill them and avoid to be killed by the Multi-Melta at short range. The Devastators keep stationary and shoot on the squad that was threatening them. At the end of the turn during the shooting, he managed to kill my 2 Land Speeders, and the rest of the shooting didn't do anything relevant. On the close combat, at the end he killed my company master and the rest of the squad. So Terminators just consolidate in that flank. Then comes my turn. In my case, I decide to concentrate on the Devastators and the Predator. So I keep Samael at the flank of the Predator, and I keep the 2 squads with missile launchers close to it to have line of sight. On the other flank, I move my squad into the cover and in short range to be able to shoot the Devastators. In the shooting phase, finally I managed to kill the Predator with 3 glancing hits. On the other flank, I completely killed the Devastators, but the Librarian keep alive with 1 wound. As I managed to kill the Predator, the combat squads I keep in my backward shoot to the Terminators, but I only managed to kill 1 of them. So next turn, I will have 2 Terminators that can mess up into my vehicles. Turn 5. Here I have to say that we miscount the turns, so we were thinking that this was turn 4 during the battle. The squad on the Fortress of Range moved forward to hold one of the objectives. In my left flank, the librarian moved against my tactical combat squad, and the land rider faced the land speeders, tried to kill them in the shooting phase. In the shooting, he managed to kill my land speeders with Typhoon missile launchers. So at this moment, I only have one land speeder, that is Samael, and one Razorback, and all the tactical marines. The Terminators move to one of the surviving Razorbacks. The librarian managed to solve my tactical squad, surviving a shot of plasma thanks to the power generator. On the following close combat, he killed one of my marines. I didn't manage to kill him, so we hold in close combat. The two Thunderhammer Terminators assault my surviving Razorback, blowing it up. Now we go to my turn 5. This unit just hold on the objective. The unit fighting close combat with the librarian ran out of the close combat, leaving the librarian alive. I did a lot of shooting on the two Terminators, but I only managed to kill one of them, so this squad will need to survive the assault of one Thunderhammer Terminator. On the flank that was supposed to be my weak one is where I'm now stronger. I have two combat squads that can hold objectives, so I start moving forward with the combat squads to hold this objective and try to hold also the objective on the Fortress of Redemption. At the same time, Samael moved to the center to be able to shoot all the Land Rider with the sword cannon, or to shoot the Terminators, or even to shoot the squad that is on the building. At the end of this turn, I was scoring 6 points. I was holding one objective, plus I killed 2 heavy support units, and I also did the first blood. On the other side, my opponent was scoring 4 points. He was holding one objective, and he slain my chapter master, my warlord. But I have the opportunity to score 2 more objectives if I manage to move my combat squads forward. One was pretty sure that I can hold very easily, but the one in the middle can be fight with the tactical marines from his squads. He also had the opportunity to score another objective, moving the Land Rider to the objective in my left flank. Turn 6. As I explained before, we were thinking that this was turn 5. We throw the dice to see if there is night fighting, and was resolved into night fighting combat. In that turn, my opponent moved forward with the tactical squad in the middle of the battlefield, trying to hold the objective on the Fortress of Redemption. On the left flank of my army, he moved the Land Rider to the objective, trying to hold this one. On my backward, the Survivor Terminator assault the combat tactical squad that I have holding the objective in the manufacturer. I didn't manage to kill him, but I managed to hold on close combat, losing 2 of my tactical Terminators. On the left flank, he shot everything on the 2 survivors of my tactical squad, but I managed to survive with my sergeant. In that picture, you have an overview of the end of my movement. As you will see, Samael moved on top of the Fortress of Redemption, tried to shoot on the tactical squad holding that objective. The tactical squad with the plasma gun moved to the objective in my right flank, while the other tactical squad is moving forward to hold the objective on the Fortress of Redemption. This is the situation in my left flank. So on the manufacturing building, I have my tactical marines fighting with a Thunderhammer Terminator, and I have also a sergeant, a survivor sergeant of the plasma squad with melta bombs that is trying to assault the Land Rider and use the melta bombs to blow it up. Here we see the movement of Samael onto the Fortress of Redemption to shoot the tactical squad in very close range. Unfortunately, Samael gets immobilized when goes into dangerous terrain. And in that picture we can see the sergeant with melta bombs assaulting the Land Rider. In the close combat, he managed to kill one of my tactical marines, but I hold on close combat with my sergeant, and one of them. My sergeant with melta bombs managed to hit and penetrate the armor of the Land Rider, stunning it. In the shooting phase, the squad with the plasma cannon just ran onto the objective. The shooting of Samuel managed to kill a bunch of tactical marines, forcing them to fall back. Turn 7. I don't have pictures of the turn 7 due to the assignment and how fast the turn goes. I forgot completely to make pictures of that turn. So I will explain what had happened. So the two tactical squads from my opponent move forward. The one holding the objective is moving to the objective in the middle, and the one at the very back of my opponent's battlefield start moving forward to hold the other objective. The Land Rider, because he was stunned, he didn't move from the position. Then, on the shooting phase, he just ran, tried to move forward to the objectives. On the close combat phase, the Terminator keep engaged in close combat with my tactical marines, and my sergeant didn't manage to penetrate the armor of the Land Rider. Then we go into my turn 7. In my turn 7, I just move forward with the tactical squad with missile launcher, keeping the rest immobile. So in close combat, I did a glancing to the Land Rider, so I didn't manage to kill the Land Rider with 3 attacks with melta bombs. And next turn, Land Rider will be able to move to hold objective if there is next turn. In the close combat, my sergeant managed to kill the Thunderhammer Terminator, so very luckily I'm holding an objective there. And we go into turn 8. We start turn 8 knowing that I will win the battle at the end, because my opponent failed in moving into difficult terrain and didn't manage to arrive to the objective at the backward. Anyway, we decide to play this turn to see what is the end up of the battle. So he moved the Land Rider to hold the objective in my left flank, and the other squad moved forward and assault into the squad that is holding the objective in the middle. In the shooting, he shot with the Land Rider into the survivor sergeant that killed the Thunderhammer Terminator, killing him with a lot of shooting. Doesn't matter that I go to ground behind the ruins. In the close combat in the middle, although he assaulted me and have much more attacks than me, I managed to hold in combat. And then I played my 8th and last turn. I didn't move anything, as the only unit that can move was holding objective, so no need to move this one. We jump directly into close combat. So my sergeant assault again the Land Rider, using again the melta bomb, and managed to kill the last hull point of the Land Rider there. Then in the midfield, we continue with the close combat, and it finished with a draw. So any of the two squads managed to win this close combat. So the objective in the middle of the battlefield was disputed. In that picture we can see the tactical marines of my opponent trying to solve the marines that are holding the objective. Samael is immobilized in the middle of this fight. These are the marines that didn't manage to hold the objective at the back of the battlefield because they failed in the difficult terrain movement. Here is my sergeant killing the Land Rider by eliminating the last hull point of it. And this is the squad with the plasma cannon holding one of the objectives. The close combat in the middle ended up with two survivors from both sides. So the battle ends with a victory for my Vigilant Angels by 8 to 1. I scored 3 points because I'm holding one objective, 3 points more because I killed 3 heavy supports. I did 1 point because the Librarian was dead by a Perilous from the warp. And then I scored another point because I did First Blood. My opponent just scored 1. So the battle ends with a victory for my Vigilant Angels by 8 to 1. I scored 3 points because I'm holding one objective, 3 points more because I killed 3 heavy supports. I did 1 point because the Librarian was dead by a Perilous from the warp. And then I scored another point because I did First Blood. My opponent just scored 1 point because he killed my Company Master. I think this has been a very interesting battle, very equilibrated during all the game, and just the final result is not showing how equilibrated the battle was. We lose a lot of assets during the whole battle, making it quite difficult. I will say that one of my best units of the battle have been Samael, although he only has 2 hull points. With the armor 14 and 4 plus invulnerable save, it's quite hard to kill. With the assault cannon, maybe it's not one of the best weapons of the game, but if you can go to the flank of one tank, you can do a lot of damage. Also, combining assault cannon plus heavy bolter, you can do a lot of damage on tactical space marines. The other unit that have performed very well have been one of the combat squads with the plasma cannon. Kill 5 Terminators in just one round of shooting is not easy. And that's all for that battle report. I hope you have enjoyed it. Please, if you like, subscribe to my channel. So, thank you for watching this battle report and see you again later.